It's true that this Jack Warner guy is just a bad guy. Right through to his core. As Stu would say, just right through his core. And I really just hope for the sake of humanity that this is not true, but many newspaper publications have gone with it. They read it in The Guardian, read it in the Metro, all my trusty UK sources that I go to. And apparently they raised funds for the people of Haiti, and he has used those funds for his own good, basically taking them in his back pocket. In 2010, they raised funds of $750,000 plus. It has not been documented whether all that money was kept, but definitely there's allegations towards it now that basically the US prosecutors are now looking into it to see that Jack Warner pocketed some of that money.
So the quote that we'll read for you for context, BBC can reveal that the former FIFA Vice President Jack Warner has been investigated by US prosecutors over the disappearance of money meant for victims of the Haiti earthquake. He visited the country in 2010 and raised $750,000 from FIFA and the Korean Football Association to help rebuild the country after the disaster, basically paraphrasing what you just said. Look, when it comes to taking I have no other way to put it. It's just like the piles of shit that are stacking on top of each other with this guy. At some point, like, jail time has to happen. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't get away with these kind of things. And I just love how he thinks like he's going to be this remembered individual for being the guy who's going to bring everybody down with him, when all that's surfacing right now is that you are the dead center of all of this shit.
Yep.
This type of thing with the Haiti earthquake, that's where I can actually, like, here's like the only nice thing I'll say about Sepp Blatter. I don't think Sepp Blatter probably knew about that one. I can't imagine he'd be sitting there going like, as bad of a person he may be,
yeah.
I can't imagine Sepp Blatter just like that coming across the wire like, oh, you took how much? Oh, no, you take 250,000 more.
It's just, how can one company be so rife with corruption that you're raising funds for an organization which helps to rebuild a community that has been devastated and somehow still finds a way to pocket that money and treat it as for it being a non-profit organization, treat it as a sole profit organization. And this is what I talked about. The power of football to rebuild a community, the power of football to bring communities together is what makes it so amazing. That's why I talked about Brazil and many examples and how they could have, if their funds were put in the right place, and if it was not as much a profit organization simply for FIFA, they could have helped rebuild those communities in Brazil, which they built the stadiums in and basically kicked people from their shanty towns into worse areas. They're already in the slums, kicking them out of their slums into the streets so that they can build stadiums. They could have used the money gathered together to help build a community. This is an example of FIFA trying to help, which they have the power to do. As I just said, the amount of money that they generate from the world's most popular game gives them as much power as a political party, as a government, to help rebuild a place like Haiti where they need help. They need help after that disastrous earthquake. And you've got sole individuals who are similar to those crooks in suits on Wall Street that we talked about in the financial crash, who basically just gambled people's well-being on their ability to make more money. And that's what Jack Warner's done here. He's abused FIFA's ability to raise money. He's abused their ability to gather, probably gather donors from all around the world to be like, you know what, we can help build this. FIFA can be the front organization to help rebuild a community. And he's put it in his back pocket. And as I tweeted out, it's sickening. And it's also sickening that I'm not surprised about it. That's the worst thing. I read about it. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not surprised. It's still disgusting, but is that what it came to? The fact that we're no longer, the element of surprise?
Well, the element of surprise is obviously gone after all these corruption, these indictments started surfacing. And again, the thing with somebody like Jack Warner is like, how far does this possibly go? Like, it's not a matter of ranking all these terrible things that he's done, because it's not worthy of a ranking. It's just you're highlighting the wrong thing by giving him so much headlines. Yeah. Really, it's the victims here are the people of Haiti, the earthquake victims, who, and again, you got to protest these things. There's so many different things that happen. It just to me is so unfortunate that we have to wait till December to even get this restructuring started of FIFA and get all these guys out of their seats. And I hope, for God's sake, jail time.
Yeah, of course, and I think that needs to be the case. And with the U.S. prosecutors at the forefront of it, I'm confident that people will be brought to justice. As I may criticize America on many fronts, but if they're going to hold someone accountable, I believe they will hold them rightly so. But the next talking point of this is it's not. When I read the article, I kind of glanced at it first. I was like, I just seen World Cup postponed, and I was like, oh, Jesus, they're postponing it. Are we no longer going to the middle of nowhere, Qatar, to watch the World Cup? But no, it's the 2026 World Cup bidding process is postponed, or what is not being is being suggested to be postponed, and the man who's suggesting it is the man who's at another forefront of allegations himself, Jerome Vlak, who, under pressure over the 10 million payment from South African World Cup organisers to former president, of course, Jack Warner, the US prosecutors say it was a bribe. So he has actually said it's nonsense to begin the process in the current climate. Finally, some form of sense.
The first sensible thing that anybody as part of FIFA has said since 1992.
It's probably go further back than that.
About
Since
17
years.
More than 20, 23 years.
Yeah, so that's been about that. So, I mean, at least that's what should have been said during the election, the presidential election for it. They should have went, how can you possibly have a vote in this climate? It's worse than Qatar trying to vote in this right now in terms of climate. Why are you holding a presidential vote when the whole company is rife with corruption? No one's going to give a fair vote, but they still went ahead of that. And I figured this 2026 World Cup might have even just been just as bad, but now it seems that they're starting to break the barrier down one by one. They're like, no, we can't have this election right now. Maybe because they want to figure out maybe that this might be the first fair World Cup that would happen, and they're trying to postpone it from happening. Who knows? It's ridiculous on our side.
It does run deep. My fear is that by 2026, Francis, you'll be gray. You'll have gray hair.
I'll be gray?
Yeah.
2026. How many years is that from now?
It's not.
11 years?
Yeah.
If I'm grey, I'm gonna be a silver fox.
With all this FIFA,
I'm gonna be George Clooney style if I'm grey. You better believe that. So as for the 2018 and 2022 World Cups, those are still a go-ahead at the moment, although there's plenty of people still protesting that. But 2026 will have to wait a few weeks, a few months until they vote to see where the next World Cup may be. Will it be Antarctica, similar to Qatar? Where's another ridiculous place? I only know Antarctica.
The moon, Mars.
Well, Sepp Blatter actually said that he imagined football being on different planets.
The Intergalactic Space Station. I can think of a few other places. Scotland.
I love when Americans say Scotland. Scotland.
Scotland.
Scotland. All right, for more FIFA coverage, make sure to check out all of our linked videos. And do not forget to subscribe to TYT Sports for more. Ruben and Francis.